Hello and welcome to News Tonight. I am Rhoda Ngonzi. Let's take a look at the headlines. President Museveni commissions Cassava processing factory. Government of Uganda commits 7 billion shillings to women's football, while UPC nominates 2 candidates for the party presidency. And EU envoys reaffirm commitment to strengthen ties with Uganda. Hello once again. President Yoweri Museveni has pledged that government will first track the implementation and actualization of Greater Luwero Development Master Plan in line with uplifting this region. The president has made these remarks while addressing Greater Luwero Regional Wealth Creation Public Rally in Nakasongola District. The address marks the last day of the wealth creation visit in the region.
My school grounds in Wabinyonyi, Nakasongola District has hosted the Wealth Creation Public Rally of Greater Luwero Zone. Besides members of the cabinet, Kyoga Boat Owners and Fishmongers Association received the president. The public rally marks the third and final day of President Museveni's visit to Greater Luwero.
Fenga abantu be Nakasongola, nga abantu ba Greater Luwero. Twagala okwebaza meeting gye wabadde naffe jjo.
Tukwendya kusaba kintu kya president n'okwegayira okw'amaanyi isene Nakasongola tufune hospital.
Tulaze bana batugamba president wa mwakaddiye simanya biki obalazeeko mukama wange bw'otandika okutambula bwe tuti ffe tuba tudduka misinde.
We welcome you to day 3 of your zonal tour on wealth creation to Greater Luwero.
Luwero Triangle Minister Alice Kaboyo has been part of the presidential wealth creation trade since Tuesday this week.
So we are happy, and I want to urge all families in this region, in this sub-region, to make sure that they follow the message that the president is spreading. It is the only way we can get out of poverty.
President Museveni was accompanied by, among others, ministers including Muruli Mukasa, Baramba Rugahara, Alice Kaboyo, regional members of parliament and religious leaders.
Developing a country has got many things, and if you are not careful, you may touch here, touch there, and not have impact. That's why the NRM believes in concentrating. What I told the leaders yesterday were 6 words. The first one, peace and security.
Addressing the public gathering, Museveni reiterated that a peaceful country comes from a united nation.
Since the NRM came, we emphasize love Uganda, because Uganda is more important than the tribes. So therefore, you people here, you should continue supporting the NRM, because the NRM is the party which believes in unity. Now, once we have peace, then the next issue is development.
He re-echoes that although there is development of infrastructure, this doesn't entirely mean wealth has been assured.
Many people confuse Nkurakurana, they talk about it a lot, the roads, the health centers, the schools, the electricity, and so on. So you can have development in an area, but you have poverty also near the development.
The head of state advised that if Uganda's vast and fertile land is properly utilized, unemployment will be a talk of the past.
And each acre created 15 jobs. We would have 105 million jobs. That is more than all the people of Uganda. We would have so many jobs that we would have to import workers. And this happened in the past year because our people who came from other countries, Rwanda, Burundi, Congo, to come here, They came because of this small economy.
Although Museveni says agriculture is the way to go, he acknowledges that industrialization will take Uganda far.
But these new factories which we have brought are already employing 1.2 million people. They are more than the ones of the government already 3 times. So you, the parents, you need to advise the children that please, the government jobs are limited. You prepare yourself to work in commercial farms or factories or hotels, services, and so on.
He further commits on behalf of government of Uganda to pay more attention towards the uplift of Greater Luwero area.
Yesterday there was the idea of affirmative action for the Luwero Triangle area. That's a correct proposal, like we have done for the north. There is a Luwero program, but it is small. We can expand it in the future.
To the fishmongers, Museveni guides that regulating the exercise is still valid.
So somebody to go into that lake must be licensed to go there, not just everybody to come.
The issue of Luwero district headquarters has been handled, has been solved, and then the issue of a skilling hub specifically for Greater Luwero has also been appreciated and given by the President.
We are in Greater Luwero. From the farmers that His Excellency the President visited, from the testimonies of the recipients, all is seemingly well, with very, very few people who failed.
Robert Nyango, UBC News.
And President Yoweri Museveni has commissioned a cassava processing factory in Nakasongola. The factory produces starch for use of in food, paper production, medicines, textiles, briquettes, and packaging. During the commissioning, President Museveni commended the proprietor for not only adding value to cassava, but also making it a more attractive venture.
Somewhere deep in Nakasongola district along the Kampala-Gulu highway lies Pura Organic Agrotech, a cassava processing factory. President Museveni, during his Paris Development Model Tour in Greater Luwero, officially commissioned the factory.
I'm very happy to be here to open this factory.
The factory produces starch used in various sectors such as food, paper manufacturing, pharmaceuticals, textile, briquettes, and packaging. Museveni commended the investors of Indian origin for the efforts in adding value to Uganda's cassava and making it more valuable crop.
So you Africans, you are sitting on big wealth, but you are always asleep. Ekale bojonye mwikalire kubuguda bamani baitu buli kaseera mba mwebasirie mbe mungu basirie. So I want to thank Ramesh for.
He assured the investors of steady supply of raw materials, promising that Ugandans will support the initiative by growing more cassava. Museveni encouraged the investors to produce more starch locally to help reduce the cost of manufacturing medicines in Uganda.
So therefore now we are very happy to have all these uses. The starch, for that starch is very crucial for, I hope you are making pharmaceutical grade starch. Because that pharmaceutical grade starch is very crucial for making tablets.
Starch oyo musamuno, starch mukulumuno omukola amakerenda.
Because what you take as a makerenda, as a tablet, is not all medicine. It is mainly starch.
Museveni pledged to resolve the challenges facing the factory, such as water supply, taxation, and bureaucratic delays by government officials. His pledge followed concerns raised by Ramesh Babu, the chairman of Pura factory.
5 liters of water to process 1 kg of starch.
To address this need, we invested over 350 million in partnership with the Central Umbrella to lay a 10-kilometer pipeline from Bijira town to our factory. Unfortunately, this agreement remains unfulfilled, as the increasing demand for water in Mizira and surrounding villages has taken precedence, leaving our supply insufficient and unreliable.
Now, what is a shame is to hear that our people are delaying him.
Ekikuswaza nkyekyokuwulira nti abantu baise tebakumukeererya.
You hear what he was saying.
Muwulire byakobere byabalinakoba.
First of all, I had told the people concerned to stop to put tax on imported starch from outside.
Minister for Investment Evelyn Anite applauded the investors for elevating the value of cassava and helping turn into one of Uganda's emerging cash crops.
We are going to be able to see more jobs creating here, and our God-given resource, which is cassava, that we saw that had zero value, is now going to get more value, and thanks to you for promoting value addition.
State Minister for Trade Wilson Mbadi noted that Pura Organic Agrotech's cassava processing initiative will help reduce importation of starch.
Establishing this cassava starch manufacturing industry marks a significant step toward self-sufficiency in starch production, and I am very confident that this factory and other factories established across the country will add value to cassava.
Minister for Public Service Muruli Mukasa said that many families are now earning a livelihood by supplying cassava to the factory.
Coming of this factory, then the fortunes of cassava are rising now. And indeed, many families are taking enjoying some reasonable livelihood and income.
The factory, which began operations 3 years ago, currently employs 130 people, while over 1,800 individuals earn income through cassava supply. Philip Aguta for UBC News in Nakasongola.
And the government of Uganda has committed 7 billion shillings to the National Council of Sports to support the development of women's football. This was revealed by the First Lady, also Minister for Education and Sports, Janet Museveni, as she received the new FUFA Women's Super League trophy.
Federation of Uganda Football Association, FUFA, unveils a new trophy for the Women's League this year. The new trophy has been on a tour in different parts of the country. In its final bend, the trophy was presented to the First Lady and Minister of Sports, Janet Museveni, as part of the campaign aimed at recognizing influential Ugandan women.
Our National Council of Sports value the virtues of gender-balanced development, and if you look critically, even the support we give out, we dictate terms. From the funding we give to FUFA, we also tell them women must have a share. And I know, Mama, this information is always contained in our report.
It is a profession, a source of income, and a dignity for many. It has been prioritized at the National Council, and we are receiving great help from them. Our women athletes now enjoy continental exposure. They are flying the flag high and competing to the highest levels. At one time, Mama, all we had in the camps were only women, and we didn't have any men in the camps.
During the presentation, the First Lady and the Minister of Education and Sports highlighted the significant additional 7 billion funding from government dedicated to promoting women football.
It is also gratifying now, on behalf of the government, to see that women's football has transformed over the years into a defined sport with clear structures and competitions that nurture young people's talent and the sense of fulfillment and self-esteem. On our part, as a government, we continue to support the participation of women in designated sports and ensure that the sports facilities we set up cater for both male and female sports as much as may be applicable. As a government, in the last 2 financial years, we have been allocated Uganda shillings 7 billion annually as an additional resource to FUFA for the promotion and development of women football in the country.
The First Lady applauded the female athletes for excelling in football, a traditionally male-dominated sport. She reaffirmed government's commitment to empowering the girl child across all sectors, particularly nurturing their talents and skills.
Let the promotion of women football be done in a manner that allows young girls and women to be girls and women, even when they are in a predominantly male-dominated sport. As you know, football is a male-dominated sport. Be mindful that they, the girls, are created differently, and so are their roles in society. Therefore, permit them to have a holistically fulfilling experience even as they develop their football talent.
This event marked the final stop of the FUFA Women's Super League Trophy Tour, a symbol of the girl child's resilience and rising prominence in competitive sports once dominated by men. Ngabo Emon, reporting for UBS TV.
And the European Union ambassadors, led by His Excellency Shan Sadek, head of the EU mission in Uganda, have voiced deep concern over the worsening human rights situation in the country, alongside what they describe as scathing verbal attacks allegedly made by the Chief of Defense Forces, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba. Now, during a retreat held in Gulu, northern Uganda, aimed at evaluating the community-level impact of EU-funded initiatives, the envoys also engaged in a high-level dialogue with General Caleb Akandwanaho, the Chief Coordinator, Operation Wealth Creation, where a range of pressing national issues were discussed.
Northern Uganda continues to stand as a major beneficiary of European Union funding, particularly aimed at improving livelihoods. The region, still healing from the scars of a brutal 2-decade conflict fueled by the Lord's Resistance Army, remains a priority for the European Union, which is steadfast in its commitment to uplift communities from the shadows of war and despair.
All in all, of course, when we travel to a region like this, we want to understand how the EU's cooperation and partnership with that region has played out over the years, see the result of that, listen to the people of the region and understand when we are continuing our support here, our partnership, how shall we calibrate that? That's also an important aspect of why we are here. And we are
the EU delegation's extensive tour and engagement with the community members, local leaders and development partners are part of a broader efforts to drive a renaissance, fostering construction, rebirth and sustainable development in northern Uganda. In Gulu, the EU envoys also took part in a high-level dialogue with General Caleb Akandwanaho, the Chief Coordinator of Operation Wealth Creation. The discussions delved into a range of pressing national issues, including development, governance and security. It was during this interface that the EU ambassadors expressed serious concerns over the deteriorating human rights situation in Uganda and the growing misuse of social media by public officials. The delegation issued a firm caution, warning of grave consequences if such trends remain unaddressed.
What we have tried to convey is we are worried about the reputational damage that this is causing.
Why does it become the responsibility of the government in Germany or Britain or wherever to ask Uganda to leave its own ideals? You could perhaps be asking, does the German ambassador ask the US government to leave its own ideals?
Yes.
Every day, the America doesn't leave its own ideals.
Yes, we do.
Even if it is our struggle, we have no right to oppress our own people or to torture them. You understand? And say they're in the basement and you say they are learning which language? Totally unacceptable. Thirdly, when you when you become in that office, you are no longer yourself. That's the institution of the country. That's a pillar of the state. You must be careful how you conduct yourself.
General Salim Saleh, who chaired the dialogue, acknowledged the concerns and committed to pursuing an amicable resolution. After the intense discussions dubbed a crossfire by some, the general called for a ceasefire, emphasizing the importance of maintaining open, respectful dialogue moving forward.
We call a ceasefire, and then we sit down and talk about the situation here and there. My brother-in-law is a German, you know.
Yes, I know. Yeah.
You know Hirma. Hirma is almost killing me. Your son. I said that's my friend. Your son is also your son. Get him and talk to him, but on his behalf, I can apologize, but I don't know what he will do tonight.
When we have something, that we are concerned about, we actually try to have a dialogue first. We don't go on to media with these things if we have concerns. And in a way, then we would appreciate the same attitude back from these Ugandan parties.
The EU provides substantial support to northern Uganda through programs focused on development, humanitarian aid and youth empowerment. This support includes financial aid, technical assistance and partnerships with various organizations. Dennis Igoa for UBC News.
The Uganda People's Congress Party has nominated 2 candidates to vie for the party presidential position. The 2 candidates are the current party president, Jimmy Akena, and Dennis Adim Enap. The party chairman, Electoral Commission Haji Mahmoud Kazim Baraine, has said the winner will have to attain at least 1/3 of all the district conferences in the whole country. He urged them to be positive in their campaigns so as to convince the nation that UPC is a party of ideas which will build the nation.
James Michael Akena. Okay, I'm advised, let me begin with this one. Mr. Enabu Adin Dennis, I take the honor to hand you the certificate as a duly nominated candidate for the President of Uganda People's Congress. My team and I will commit to the tenets of the party constitution, and anything that veers off the constitution shall not be permissible under our watch. To that,
it will be an honor to carry the UPC flag in the general election, and the preparations which have been done so far, I think UPC is ready. I myself, as a candidate, I'm ready for the task.
Allow me to congratulate the 2 candidates. Who managed to bring themselves up to the point of getting a nomination. I think we last presented a presidential candidate in 2011, but all this time we've not been presenting them because we didn't just want to present anybody. We wanted to present a winning candidate. This is why today we have said these our candidates should travel the breadth and width of this country so that they can get to be seen, get to be identified, and at the same time make UPC visible. We have won 50 districts to be able to go to wherever we shall go for our delegates conference and be voted for by the delegates conference. You go out there to campaign. Do not take your own image as paramount. Take the image of UPC. UPC has got a lot to show for its ability.
James Michael Akena.
Big thing about the MTN Super. Wali yakapia musite wali yakapia. MTN kabo the Super mustairompia. Then you kabo the smartphone nebi yakabibiona. MTN kabo the Super mustairompia. Then you kabo the smartphone nebi yakabibiona.
Get the new Kabode Super smartphone and enjoy 16 GB free. Start with a deposit of only 45,000 Uganda shillings and pay the rest mpora in daily installments of less than 1K. You can also make weekly and monthly installments. Together, our vibes are unstoppable. Terms and conditions apply. MTN. MTN is regulated by Uganda Communications Commission.
Amazina ganje Ninyetekwa Seruhanga John Bosco ninduga mu district ya Rukungiri byo muhanguzi wa miliyoni 18 na Uganda National Rotary nzahangwire urwo mu kuzana star 278 hash ngafuna message eriko reka mu muhanguzi nashemererwa konka nabaza kugira ngo neri y'abafere sente ziriyo zona bakaziteka ngo nazihangwira.
Uganda National Lottery. Dream, play, win.
Participants must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The Uganda National Lottery is operated by Ituba Uganda and regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board.
Are you a woman with a small-scale business with a dream of growing it to another level? The GROW Project is here to support you in realizing your dream.
The GROW Project is a government initiative implemented by the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development and Private Sector Foundation Uganda with support from the World Bank.
We support women-owned businesses across the country to gain hands-on and business management skills through training within your location, business financing through grants and affordable loans, and infrastructure in your areas of operation to enable you to increase your productivity.
If you have a business that makes sales of up to 800,000 Uganda shillings per month, the GROW Project has the tools and resources to help you succeed. For more information, contact your district or city GROW focal person or call our toll-free line on 0800 307 777 to learn more about how you can benefit from the GROW Project's services.
The GROW Project, empowering women economically, transforming communities.
A smile that is white, fresh and beautiful is a smile to be proud of. Discover new Colgate White and Fresh for the whole family with high quality and an incredible price.
And now in Kawempe Division, residents of Chebando, Chisalo and workers at Tirupati Industrial Park are appealing directly to President Yoweri Museveni to visit their area. They want him to witness how government-backed initiatives like Tirupati Industrial Park are transforming lives, creating jobs and boosting the local economy. Our reporter brings us more.
Salo in Kawempe Division, along with workers at Tirupati Industrial Park, are calling on President Yoweri Museveni to visit the area and witness first-hand development efforts and working conditions. Their appeal comes in the wake of the President's recent nationwide visits to assess parish development model project visits that did not include a stop at the park.
Nebaza nyo President, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni kutusimbira business park yenu. Tufunye nyo ku business park ngabatuze bawano. Tusobode kuwerera abana bafi, tusobode kufuna byakurya na byakunywa wano Tirupati business park. Tusaba busabi His Excellency our President ajya tuchadire arabe gitundu getuze kuro murimo go project ya teka wano.
Established in 2006 by Tirupati Development with government approval, Tirupati Industrial Park was designed as part of efforts to combat unemployment. Since its inception, the park has created employment opportunities for over 3,000 people across various sectors. The Secretary of the Local Governing Committee emphasized the importance of ensuring all park employees are properly registered and vetted to curb criminal activity.
Akakiiko ako akaliwo ak'abakozi lwaki twakola akakiiko ako olw'ensonga nti abantu bonna buli lw'oleeta abantu mu kampuni yo abalala tebabeera beesigwa kati buli muntu yenna ayingira wano asooka wa chairman LC1.
Over 600 young women are enrolled in the center receiving vocational training. However, they continue to face challenges in increasing their income and achieving long-term economic sustainability. Despite rumors that the park has not been well received, both operators and community members assert the contrary.
Ekitundu kino yali nsiko neba nga buli omu buli nkozi ya bibi byonna ejja nekola ki nebeera mu nsiko muno nebeeramu ne bakola bibakola emirambo ne basuulamu n'emirambo naye abantu bano we bajja business park bwe yajja ne balongoosa ekitundu abaana abaali bakola ebibi byonna baafuna ne bajja ne bafunamu n'emirimu.
Although the park is situated near drainage channels, Tirupati Developments Limited, along with its partners, has made concerted efforts to protect the environment.
"230 pilgrims from districts of Kisoro, Rwanda, Kabale and Ruchiga, who set off yesterday in the wee hours of Kabale, have now reached Ntungamo district as they trek a 10-day journey to Namugongo to mark the Martyrs' Day slated for the 3rd of June.
These are the 230 pilgrims from the districts of Kisoro, Kabale, Rwanda and Ruchiga districts. These set off their 10-day journey from Kabale town on Wednesday morning, and by press time they were approaching Rampara district, where they are destined to have an overnight. The group is being led by Alfonso Biraho, a catechist at Christ the King Kabale Parish, who said they are walking in prayer, asking God to enable the country go through peaceful elections. In this group is a 79-year-old George Kiza Kajenda, who said many politicians in current elections have showed the possibility of having violence following the recently concluded NRM structure elections. This, he said, calls for the intervention of the Divine Mercy. Others, this sacrifice is meant to ask God to reign over their social problems and to pray that He grants them school fees for their children, since the next term is beginning in a few days. Ntungamo District Officer in charge of traffic and road safety, Muhumza Johnson, said traffic officers were taking the pilgrims through accident black spots, guarding the trek, with each district handing over to the other until they reach Kampala, a move aimed at preventing them from being accident victims.
You see these accidents which are along the road, along this road, so we are giving them protection up to where they are going. So these ones, we are picking them from where? Rubari. OC Rubari is the one who has given them to us. Then we shall take them up to Wampara. We hand over the OC Wampara. OC Wampara will proceed up to them, with them up to Mbarara.
Some of these pilgrims have so far covered over 150 kilometers, especially those from Kisoro and Rwanda, as they mark day 4 of their journey. Joyful as most seemingly, said that they are hopeful that God will answer all their prayers upon reaching Namugongo. The group is scheduled to sleep between Ntungamo and Rampara and step foot again tomorrow morning and sleep in Mbara.
And the president of the Rotaract Club of Naguru, Miriam Nanteza Matovu, has urged leaders to turn to God during difficult times, saying it is through divine guidance that true leadership thrives. She made the remarks during a celebration marking her one-year term as president of the Rotaract Club of Naguru, held in Ntinda.
During the event, which recognized her achievements, Miriam Nanteza Matovu was celebrated for successfully leading the club through the completion of 3 major projects within a single year.
I reflect on this incredible journey. I am filled with so much gratitude and pride.
In her speech, Nanteza encouraged the current and aspiring Rotaract leaders to seek spiritual guidance to help them lead with wisdom and integrity.
Go and pray to the Lord. Leadership does not mean that you shouldn't pray. Even when you come to lead fellowship, pray for your people. Pray for the people who are going to come. God is going to bless you with the right people, and God is going to take away the wrong people. Trust me, you will not see them here. I'm not saying that the people not here are the wrong people, but I know that God will bless you with the right people, and you will do the right things. You will do amazing things.
The Assistant District Rotaract Representative Pafula Senkumba also addressed the gathering, calling on Rotaractors to involve their families in club activities as a way to promote awareness and attract new members.
Make your family understand why you're here. Make your partners, if you make your family members, your friends, understand even the resources avail themselves.
Members of the club who commended Miriam Nanteza Matovu for being a high achiever in such a short period and credited her for the club's visible progress and impact.
So Miriam is a very strong leader, and I believe all the skills that you have managed to acquire, you are going to carry them through your life.
This is what brings us all together, and with that, there's so many things that the president initiated, and ladies and gentlemen, I can clearly say that we succeeded.
She is the first president of this club to do more than 3 projects and execute them perfectly well.
Story compiled by Mike Bakabulindi.
Let's have a quick break. When we return, business news.
Techno and MTN. Together, our flash snap is unstoppable. Grab the Techno Camon 40 series and get free 9 GB of MTN data valid for 3 months. Don't wait. Get your Techno Camon 40 today at Techno stores and MTN outlets. MTN is regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission.
A smile that is white, fresh and beautiful is a smile to be proud of. Discover new Colgate White and Fresh for the whole family with high quality and an incredible price.
Africa is rising. A continent rich in potential, powered by a new generation of visionaries. From cutting-edge technologies to transformative industries, Africa is shaping its own future. Bold, sustainable, and value-driven. Inspire Africa Group welcomes you to the first Africa Business Forum, which will be held at Africa Coffee Park under the theme Innovation, Industrialization and Value Addition. On the 23rd of May 2025, the chief guest will be His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, President of Uganda, and His Excellency Dr. Samoei William Ruto, President of Kenya. Come, engage with the key policymakers, forge strategic partnerships, and unlock new markets. Join us as we reshape Africa's economic future.
All right, listen up. Colgate is on a mission.
It's kind of a big thing.
Colgate Herbal uses traditional nature's herbs and combines it with Colgate Science for healthy gums and strong teeth.
New Colgate Herbal with Salt combines traditional nature's herbs with a pinch of salt and Colgate Science. A natural recipe for strong teeth and healthy gums.
ennaku 3 ez'omuziki enseko n'okuzuula nga weetooloddwa obulungi bw'obutonde nga kw'otadde n'abayimbi abasingayo mu Afrika. Sina ate onyumirwa obulamu mu kujaguza obuwangwa bwa Afrika obujjuvu ng'obutonde bwe bukuzza obujja. Tukwaniriza mu Milege. Jaguza nga bw'onyumirwa obulamu, omuziki, sinema, ebyokulya, engero n'emboozi. Milege World Music Festival 2025 okuva nga 6 paka nga 8 mu mwezi gw'omukaaga ku Botanical Gardens Entebbe. Okugula tiketi nyiga *165*2 londako Milege World Music Festival 2025 ogoberere endagiriro. Oba kuba ku 0752833833 oba tukyalire ku website yaffe www.milege.org. Biwagiddwa Entebbe Municipal Council, Uganda Wildlife Education Center, Uganda Wildlife Authority, Civil Aviation Authority, Uganda Tourism Board, Rock Telcom, Ovidian Uganda, 106.5 Energy Radio, Protea Hotel Entebbe, and UBC.
And on business news, financial institutions are prepared to support Uganda's economy through providing quick and affordable capital to support government's forthcoming National Development Plan 4. In this regard, Standard Chartered Bank has hosted an investment dialogue with private and public sector stakeholders to share insights on the key sectors that they are targeting to participate in.
Dialogue sought to foster collaborative discussions among key stakeholders to explore and unlock the potential of cross-border trade as a catalyst for Uganda's tenfold growth strategy.
So the first initiatives as Trademark Africa was to bring these entities together so that they can be able to work together. So what happened was to upgrade 7 cross-border one-stop border posts. And these upgrades really were to have administrative blocks so that everybody can be able to sit together and work together to improve the process flows.
Uganda's economy grew by 6.2% in fiscal year 2024-2025. The size of the economy reached 202.7 trillion shillings, amounting to $53.6 billion and targets to reach $500 billion by 2040, headlining with key specific sectors termed as ATMs.
Government is undertaking some investments in the region in order to harness regional trade. We're doing joint investments in Congo, that you know very well. We're undertaking some joint investments with South Sudan. And we're going to be undertaking also, recently you've read in the newspapers, to Central African Republic. And the government has been steadfast in trying to stabilize these markets. When we go to Congo with our military and to South Sudan, it's not because we are really interested in fighting there, but actually trying to stabilize those markets.
Private sector companies intending to secure financing have been tasked to think bigger and win-win situations so that they profit together with financial institutions in spite of interest rates remaining relatively high compared to global markets.
What we have done now is to escalate this discussion and proposition to the region. Now, PSFU, with its sister agencies in Kenya, that's the Kenya Private Sector Alliance, Tanzania Private Sector Foundation, the Rwanda Private Sector Alliance, etc. We've come up with a common position that will then state what the private sector in Uganda and the region can take up as consensus. We then escalate that to the East African Legislative Assembly, the East African Community Secretariat, but more importantly, we are now saying before the Heads of State Summit, the private sector takes a collective position that will then state how things are done.
That let's not be super dependent on only oil, because Uganda has so much more opportunity. If you think about the 10x economy, it actually looks at the multiple resources, multiple opportunities, multiple pillars that we have of growth and transformation. So what do I make out of it? I think clearly we're going to be winners in the region. When election comes, we just have to be careful that we don't overspend money.
Uganda is poised to transform growth in Africa through cross-border trade, but government and private sector must innovatively align their objectives strategically, utilizing public-private partnerships to achieve success. Wadulo Arnold Mark, UBC News in Kampala.
Commissioner in charge of Youth and Children Affairs in Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, Chate Kamondo, has rallied young entrepreneurs and innovators to jealously guard their business brands with firm determination to make them thrive and endure. Chateka emphasized that breaking the cycle of poverty requires a strong will to overcome innovations. He made these remarks during the graduation of young women innovators who have undergone a 6-month training under the Power Project organized by Action for Health Uganda.
Well done. Thank you for the solutions you advanced towards addressing SRHR.
Uganda's youth unemployment currently stands at 12.6%, despite poverty levels having reduced from 20.3% in 2019 to 2020 to 16.1% in 2023 to 2024. Local innovations, especially by youth, are now seen as a solid foundation on which the poverty index can be significantly lowered.
This is a significant contribution to downgrading the profile of poverty in this country. We still need to do a lot to ensure that we pull people out of poverty. Youth unemployment, my colleague talked about it, at 12.6, again, extremely high. And with the rate of production of more human beings, we couldn't be mopping, but the tap is open.
Launched in 2022, the Power Project by Action for Health Uganda primarily aims to support young women aged 18 years to 35 years in social entrepreneurship and reproductive health services. Through this initiative, young women are selected from local communities and the private sector, then enrolled, mentored, and trained in both social entrepreneurship and reproductive health services. This year's cohort has seen 10 girls graduate after 6 months of intense hands-on training. The previous 2024 cohort saw 15 graduates, many of whom have since become CEOs of their own startups. These graduates are linked to potential stakeholders for further support. Also, under a multi-sector investment financing model, they are funded to sustain their businesses. Some of the entrepreneurs who graduated from this program are also able to employ a minimum of 5 to 8 people, creating a positive ripple effect within their communities.
We came up to design this pilot in 2022, and as a result, we did the first pilot, and we realized success, that when we empower women, they are able to start innovations which employ others. So we started with 12 young ladies who graduated, and as we speak, they are now, each of them is employing between 5 to 8 other young people in the community. So that's the ripple effect that we want to see in the community. And one of the greatest things we have learned that the women entrepreneurs are faced, one is access to financing is a very critical issue. So in this program, we have a component of the multi-sectoral investment financing facility where we support these women to access financing to strengthen their social enterprise.
We've gotten critical mentorship, which is going to allow me to be able to partner with other stakeholders to be able to support the mothers as much as possible.
Crispus Adenitwe, UBC News.
And that does it for news tonight. Thank you for sticking with us. I am Rhoda Ngonzi. Have yourselves a lovely night.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Oyo ye Diplock Sega wanga chaguze emyaka namwe 3 May ku National Theatre. A lifetime of melody concert, 43 years of Diplock Segawa performing in Kampala for the first time in a long time. Enyimbo boba do uli ampulire katija